Good afternoon and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to look at containment game strategy in Backgammon. Now these games are notoriously known as fiendishly complicated to play, but today we're going to look at a game and I'm going to talk you through some of the strategic points to hope you have a better understanding of it over the board. Now this game is not representative of all containment games, but I'm hoping that you'll glean from this some knowledge into how to play it over the board and better your decision making. So let's have a look here. So in this position on the left, white has 5 checkers left to bear off and green has 3 back. Green is in a position here where he's likely to get backgammoned. He only has 14% winning chances, but there's a glimmer of hope because white has an odd amount of checkers on the 3-point and is likely to expose with many rolls, which he has done. White's rolled a 6-4 and had to play 2 off the 3-point and left a blot. So now green, of course, is hoping to roll a 2 to give him a chance in the game. Now this is what happens. Green rolls a 5-2. So green hits, of course, and then with the 5 plays from 24 to 19. And this is because if white enters with a 2-1, he's going to be forced to break that anchor and expose 2 more checkers. So part of containment game strategy is constantly working out which rolls are going to play badly for your opponent and anticipating where to leave your checkers. So we're going to see more of that as we go along. So white then dances. He does not enter that checker. He remains on the bar, and green rolls a 4-1. And here the right idea is to slot the back of the prime and then have a direct cover by playing 16 to 12 with the 4. So by making the bar point, we're again considering what rolls are going to not work for white. In this case, 2-5 and 6-1 will remain trapped if we manage to make the bar point as green. So that's another 4 rolls in 36. We keep the other checkers back as green. Better to stay back and anticipate future contact. So white does roll the joker from the bar, 6-1, 2 in 36, comes out and hits us. But of course, as green, we are completely unfazed. We're already in a losing position, and being sent back is no big deal. We have 35 rolls to re-enter, and 4 checkers back as green just improves our contact. White is going to have to play a lot of rolls into range of getting hit. So green now rolls a 6-4. Now here it's correct to play the 6 into the home board and then play 12 to 8, and this is because it blocks double 6s as white, which would be a game winning roll. So in containment games we want to look out for double 6s and double 5s and anticipate how we might block them. So simply play in and make that 19 point. So now white rolls a 3-1 and hits, staying out of direct range. No problem again being hit as green. We have plenty of ammunition back in white's home board for when white brings that lone checker around. And here green now rolls a 4-2. Here it's better to stay back. We don't want to play 24 to 22. We play 5 to 3. We stay back. And here you can do the exercise of just counting how many shots we will have if white were to roll a 4-3, for example, or a 3-2 or a 6-1. You can see and count how many return shots we will have on our lone checker as green, which is why we must stay back to maximize our chances of hitting and containing that white blot. As you can see here, white rolls a 4-1 and now is forced within range of green. You can see now we have 5s, 6s, 3s, 9s, many hitting opportunities, and green rolls a 5-4 and hits. Of course, making the point would be wrong. We must hit that blot, and then we bring that green checker all the way around to the 12 point. And this is because if white were to roll a 1-6, 2-5, 2-6, we have a direct return with 4s and so on. So again, anticipating what's likely to happen, thinking about what rolls our opponent will have, and putting ourselves in positions to maximize contact and contain. So white does enter with a roll 2-4, and green rolls a 3-2. So here it's better with 3-2 to split from that 19 point and play to 17 and 16. Here we are diversifying our checkers and controlling the outfield to important concepts. And here we are just giving ourselves more hitting numbers if white jumps out with 6s and 5s, which is what we want. We no longer need that. It's no longer serving a purpose of blocking 6s. Slotting the bar as green here is tempting, but it would be wrong as we do not have any direct cover for the bar as we did before. So it's simply better to split with a 3-2, as you can see on the right hand side. So white now rolls a 4-2 and is stuck. Green rolls a 6-2 and plays 22-14. So here you might want to pause. There is some information on the right. So here green takes control of the outfield with the blots, as you can see on the 14, 16, 17 and 12. Double 5s do hit 2 of green's checkers but leave a blot in white's home board. Double 5 is a kind of winning roll anyway. We cannot block that double 5. So we want to get hit, and getting deliberately hit to send checkers further back for hitting opportunities is a key imperative part of containment strategy. We are already behind. Getting hit and falling further behind to recycle the checkers is key. So control the outfield, get hit, if necessary, recycle checkers. Now white is forced to run with a 5-3. Many numbers, 5-3, 5-2, 5-1, would force that checker out. And here you can see now we have our green checkers perfectly placed to hit with 2s, 5s, 6s, 7s, and so on. So we have diversified our checkers to increase our advantage of hitting that white checker and preventing him from getting around the board. So now here green rolls a 5-1, which is quite interesting because there's different ways to play it. So here it's best to play 16-10 and of course hit the checker. Now here green could also play to the 9 point or the 12 point with the 1, but it's better to stay further back and generate more shots. But there are a couple of other reasons which I have listed on the right hand side. So with the correct play, the checkers remain better connected at 6 or fewer spaces apart. And finally, if white were to roll a 6-2 to jump for prime, then green now has a 2 rather than a 1 to return hit, which is an additional roll. And it also unduplicates for 1, which plays a dilly builder from green's 3 to the 2 point. So again, in positions like this, you really need to think through the numbers, and sometimes having 1 additional roll is significant and can turn the game, particularly when you are playing Containment. So have a think about this one. So now white enters with a 5-1, cannot play the 5, and green here rolls a 4-2, and now green must hit from 3 to 1 to stop white escaping with a 6 or a double 6 super joker, which would just win the game. So here the 4, green plays from 17 to 13, you can see on the right hand side, because it creates another opportunity to make the bar, as we saw in previous positions. So now by playing 17 to 13, green has 6s, 3s and 5s all to make or slot the bar, and hitting is imperative. So white enters, as does green. Again, 15 to 11 is correct, creating more opportunities to make the point and extend the prime, which is exactly what we want to decrease white's flexibility. Now white rolls a double 3 and can't move. In this position, white is really hoping for a double 1, so he can move those 2 checkers to the ace point and prevent leaving future shots. Now green, of course, wants the opposite, wants white to expose more shots and then turn the game around. So let's see what happens, stay tuned. So green now rolls a 4-3, which is one of the many rolls which makes the bar. This is a benefit of diversifying the checkers. It gives you more kind of numbers to play well. So green makes a bar, which blocks white 6s, besides 6-1. And now white cannot escape with a 4-5. Many numbers leave white trapped, which is exactly what green wants. And now green has a 4-2 and slots the back of the prime. So again, this is a key idea in Containment, extending the prime, keeping white trapped, forcing him to play awkwardly. So here we slot the back of a prime, giving us 5s to cover and leaving white only a 6-1 to escape, which is 2 in 36. With the 2, we play 22 to 20, have slightly better connectivity. We must leave our checker back on the 24 point. So now white rolls a 4-1. He steps up from 24 to 23. Of course, he's not going to choose to expose the 2 other checkers. And then green rolls a 4-3. So now we hit on the front of the prime, hoping to make it on a subsequent roll with a 5 or a 6. Here there is no risk. If we get hit back, we simply re-enter white's homeboard and recycle the checker. We also step up with the 3 from 22 to 19, and that gives us good connectivity between a 19 and 13 checkers. So here, hitting on the front, disallowing white to play any 6, 11 rolls to escape. That's pretty key. So now white dances, and then green makes the full prime. White keeps on dancing, and green plays the 4-3 by 22 to 15. Keeping that 1 checker back on the 24. So now you can see that white's in a tricky position, and green's containment game is working quite successfully. We have the full prime created. let's keep going and see what happens next. So now white comes in with an ace, but cannot escape with any roll, and green rolls a 6-2. So here we play 13 to 5, another checker into our home board. Breaking the prime here by playing 7 to 1 would be a huge blunder. Now, why is that? Here you need to think through the rolls. So in this situation, we want white to remain trapped and roll a 1, which is 11 out of 36. And by rolling a 1, he's going to force expose those other checkers, which is exactly what we want. As green, we are not going to win this game with only one of white checkers back. He's already borne off 12 checkers. So we need to send more back to win the game. So now white rolls a 3-2, can't move, and then green rolls a 5-4, and he plays 15 to 6. Now here, green has the opportunity to play 5 to 1 and hit white's checker. But here it would be a big blunder to do so because, again, as explained, we want white to remain stuck and roll a 1 to expose more checkers. By hitting, we're doing white a big favour here. We're decreasing our timing, so don't hit, force white to play awkwardly. And that's what happens here. White rolls a disaster number of 1 and is forced to expose. He has to play 2 to 1, and now green is on the bar, as you can see in the right hand position. So now it's our roll as green, and any 1 or 2 20 rolls in 36 will hit white's checker, one of the 2 white checkers he's been forced to expose. So green unfortunately doesn't roll a 1-2, but does roll a 6-5, which is very good still. He enters on the 6 point and then plays 6-1 with the 5 hitting on the front of the prime. Now here, white wants to dance. White does not want to enter after this. Green wants that checker on now the ace point after hitting to be hit back to give himself a chance to pick up the 2 extra blots. So here, hitting on the front of the prime is green, hoping to be hit back in return to pick up more checkers. White does not want to roll a 1 and to remain dancing to ruin green's timing. So white does dance to his advantage, and then green rolls a 6-4. And here green again has the opportunity to close the board by playing 5 to 1, but it's wrong to do so. Green must leave that blot exposed on the ace point, hoping to get hit back to pick up more checkers. That is essential in containment game strategy. So here we can see that it does eventually happen. So white does re-enter with a 1, hitting green, and then green re-enters with a 2-5, picking up a second white blot. So now white has 2 checkers back, 1 stuck on the ace point, on green's ace point, and 1 on the bar. So white's position has considerably deteriorated from the beginning position where he was too good. And now we can see with white's checker being on the bar and 1 stuck back, green has a borderline double and has increased winning chances from 14% at the beginning to now 76%. It's a borderline double, but it's still a take. Let's keep going. So now white dances and green rolls a 3-1, and here he must hit with 4-1, and then he plays 7 to 6 to provide more numbers to cover. He maximizes the numbers to make a closeout. The hit here from 4-1 is essential because we do not want white to have the ace point anchor. That would have around 11-12% winning chances. And here, by leaving the ace point slotted by playing 4-1, we can fish for the third white checker, because white there is in an extremely vulnerable position with his blot on his ace point. So 4-1, 7-6, try to be hit again in return. So here white dances with a 5 with, well, any roll besides a 1, and then green rolls a 5-4. So again, green has the opportunity to cover the ace point with a 5 or 4, but decides against it because white really wants to pick up that third checker, wants white to roll an ace. Even if white were to roll a double ace, he would still have that blot exposed. So white continues to dance and green plays the checkers around. Here you can see 6-3 on the right hand side. Green just plays to the 10 point. Again, as seen before, he can cover with a 3, but decides against it. He's fishing for the third white checker. And eventually white enters and hits with a 1, and then green plays the 4-1 and picks up the third checker. And you may need to keep recycling the checkers in situations like this to pick up the third checker. You have great timing as green, so you can slot the front of a prime. You can get hit, and then if you don't enter with an ace, you can slot the prime again and keep on going until you pick up the third checker. It will be very frustrating for your opponent, who is hoping that you run out of timing or you don't roll an ace, but really timing is on your side as green. You can just keep on going until you do roll that ace, and that's exactly what's happened on the right. You've chosen to get deliberately hit to pick up the third white checker, so be patient and it will happen. And now this is a position, so white now has 3 checkers on the bar, and white's winning chances have increased to 93%, which is a double pass, as you can see. So there we are. You can remember how hopeless things once looked at the beginning. We had 3 checkers back. White had 12 checkers born off, was in a too good position. We only had 14% winning chances here as green. And now, by applying containment game strategy, we have 93% and have won the game. So thank you for watching the lesson. I hope this has given you some ideas on how to play a containment game. Remember to recycle checkers, to diversify your checkers, to count shots, to slot the back of a prime, to slot the front of a prime, to keep hitting. Keep watching my videos and subscribe if you enjoy my content. New videos every Wednesday. Thank you very much. See you next time. Bye bye.